And just a reminder to everyone, we are giving away a bunch of copies of Heart of the Swarm on tinyurl.com/IPTLHOTS. Again, tinyurl.com/IPTLHOTS. Hope you guys will sign up, and best of luck to you. Here in the top left-hand corner of the map, Ohana, we have our blue Protoss player from Incredible Miracle. It is ST.PartinG. He's won 2 games in a row against his opponents. Their representative from StarTale down here in the bottom right-hand corner. It's our red Protoss player, PartinG.
All right, so one more PvP for us here. I can't believe StarTale is just feeding Protosses into someone who hasn't lost the PvP in my recent memory.
Yeah.
And, I mean, SEED versus Hero at Face-Off was like a really dramatic PvP. Obviously, it was, you know, everything on the line for Team Liquid at that point, but that was a crazy game on Sandshore Mist, that PvP. Obviously, Sandshore Mist not in our map pool anymore, but still the match was incredible, and SEED already showing some really great play against Squirtle, being a bit sneaky and totally paying off for him.
Yep, so we'll see now if PartinG is going to have a little bit different look than his teammate Squirtle did. Squirtle decided to go for a Quick Blink Stalker build, but it never got off the ground. SEED trapped the first couple of attack units, which kind of took the bite out of that advantage in units you really need to be able to blink up from around the side. Then had those Immortals too early, and then expanded in a proxy position in the top right-hand corner. So everything just went really well for him.
That's right, and PartinG is... you know, he's not the last stand for StarTale. They do have a roster of 23 players.
That's correct.
Including Miss and Aphrodite, so either of them could show up as the ace if SEED does defeat PartinG. But I gotta think about who... So with Squirtle already out, PartinG in now, if PartinG goes down, that basically leaves most of Zenex.
Most of Zenex.
Curious.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking. I mean, that's the strongest player, I think, on StarTale at the moment.
I'm curious. Well, oh my God.
Redo. Josh.
I'm curious why they didn't put in Curious against SEED before PartinG, because, like I said, SEED has just been devouring Protoss players recently, and they have this monstrous Zerg player, so I'm not sure why.
And I could see, I see why they put in Squirtle to begin with. He was probably prepared as a sniper, despite the fact that Squirtle is an amazing player. But Curious is the kind of guy who can just win against pretty much everyone, and so he's the person that you went in to win a few games in a row against a lot of different guys. But I agree with you. I would have put him in before I would have put in PartinG, I think.
All right, so we'll see. I mean, PartinG could obviously prove us wrong here, do some crazy stuff that we're not expecting, and topple SEED. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Obviously, PartinG had some very tense games earlier this year. I'm not sure what sort of GSL status he's at the moment. I'm not sure if he's Code A or Code S. Do you have any idea?
No, not
PartinG is at currently.
I'm not sure.
Well. But either way, I mean, obviously he's always in contention. Even if he's not in Code A or Code S, he's always got the ability to get up in there and do some damage in these team leagues. So PartinG very valuable to StarTale. Let's see. You know, this is a big game here because, like we said, you know, if PartinG does fall, that would put them at a 4-2 deficit, and it would be up to Curious to get a lot of kills. PartinG, obviously, if he can win a PvP here, it's going to be up to IM to probably throw in, I would guess, Locira or Nesty, probably.
Yeah, against PartinG, you probably don't want to throw in a Terran player, so I kind of agree with that. Probably Lucira. Yeah, they tend to go back to their Zerg players in this situation. And Lucira was a guy who stepped in and actually did great work for them in their championship run last season.
That's right. So yeah, just thinking about, you know, how this could unfold either direction. PartinG is actually just chrono boosting out some units now. Both players searching all over the map for any kind of hidden pylons. You can see like the Fog of War is kind of like ragged in the mini map. They've just kind of searched all over the place with their probes so far. But oh, that probe actually getting taken out by the Stalker. Quick kill for him before actually getting anywhere near the main there.
And it didn't get close enough to see if there was a Nexus up either. PartinG, of course, going for a 2-gate expansion into Robo, and SEED decided to go for a 2-gate Robo expansion, which is kind of what I thought he would do last go-around. And there we go. There's the Nexus.
So if we waited, you know, a couple of minutes, everyone would have exactly the same buildings.
Yes.
So it's just a different order. I mean, that's kind of a narrow window for anything too crazy to actually happen here. I mean, it's just a kind of a preference thing, I feel like, because obviously Parting's not going to be like, I built my Nexus before you, now I have 25 more units than you. It's just, there's just not enough time. So really, it's just kind of a preference thing, I feel like.
Yeah, Parting will have a few more probes and one less Immortal, but Seed's going to have a pretty good idea of what his opponent is up to. So he has great scouting now with getting that Observer in a little bit earlier.
That's true. So that's kind of the trade-off: economy versus scouting information. Very, very quick bay from Seed, and he is starting one Immortal, so we might see a second one. Might see just more gateway units being cranked out so he can save gas to get extended thermal lances as fast as possible. And Parting on the other side, making use of those Nexuses, building some macro tools here, another assimilator, lots more probes.
Yeah, and as we can see, that's where the advantage of that earlier base is going to come out for him. He will jump ahead in economy just a little bit there, and his supply will reflect that. But of course, his opponent decided to, I think, take the appropriate risk, knowing that he was a little bit behind. In when his expansion came down, he actually flew over, and as soon as the Observer saw the expansion, that's when he put down his robotics bay. So I like the decision to jump into that tech a bit quicker.
And he did not build that third Immortal, so he is, just saving as much gas as he can. Actually now building a Sentry, so never mind. I thought he was going to wait all the way towards extended thermal lances, but building another Sentry, of course, that's going to help him throughout the game as long as he can keep it alive. Sentries are very, very useful in every matchup. No blink from either side yet or anything like that, so force fields are still going to be very, very nice to have in their first encounter. Another Immortal coming out from Parting. Bay is not quite finished yet, so Seed actually could be the aggressor here if he waits for second Colossus. I'm not sure actually if he wants to move with this first one, but it looks like he does.
He's delayed on Thermal Lance for so long. I think he's just making a Colossus push, a one Colossus push. So
he does have that pylon. I didn't even notice that. Okay.
Yeah. So
that makes a big difference.
Yeah, this is just a strong one Colossus push now. 2 Immortal, 1 Colossus, and he will be able, of course, to break down any sort of force fields up the front because of that Colossus is there. Yeah. So we'll see how this works out for him, but he's going to roll right up the gut now. And Parting, he has a couple of Immortals, but his Colossus is still well away.
He took out the Observer of Parting as well, so he's actually got that scouting advantage now as well. He can send in the Observer without any real worry of getting picked off. The other Observer, Colossus, smash some force fields. There they are, just as you mentioned, and the Immortal gets a couple shots off on the Colossus, but now he's just going to settle back, take out these Zealots, and now the Sentry's actually getting a couple of attacks taken on them, and man, Seed is actually just pushing through here very, very quickly. There's only 2 Immortals standing and a few Stalkers, but they're not targeting anything. They're not focusing, and this is tough. Probes pulled, but the force field's keeping the probes even from being able to soak any damage.
That's right, and the Colossus now does come up for Parting, but he runs it directly into the fire of this Immortal because of the Observer that was sitting just around the ramp, and Parting is losing so much stuff here. This is actually turning out to be terrible for him.
Oh my goodness, the Colossus is finally doing some damage, but gets focused down very, very quickly. That Colossus still standing for Seed, 10 kills on it now. He doesn't even need to produce anything more. He's warping a few more Stalkers on the left side, but there are no real fighting units for Parting anymore. Anything that he comes up with now is not even going to be able to match the Immortal and Colossus that's already standing for Seed. These 2 Stalkers trying to attack destructible rocks.
Yeah.
Come on, unit control.
All right. This is a very difficult position for Parting now. There's another Colossus rolling down for Seed. He's trying to rally all of the forces he can get together, but just unfortunately for him, nothing to be found at all.
Yeah, more free probes there for Seed to just destroy. Obviously, he's got a lot of gateway units still there. 13 kills on the Colossus. That Colossus can actually retire. There's another round of Warpins and another Colossus about to show up, but he's not done. He's just going to keep fighting.
Yeah, well, he's down to 24 supply, so this is pretty much a foregone conclusion now, unfortunately, for StarTale fans. So it looks like Seed is going to put Incredible Miracle just 1 game away from taking the set.
That's right, and Seed would be the one to do it, if anyone.
GG, wow. So Incredible Miracle out to a dominating 4-2 lead, and StarTale is down to their last player.
All right, another very